So, welcome back to another episode of Dukun Effect. And this time, what do we have here is called Rivera Fandango. So, talk back about this amp. This amp has an issue that the third power tubes always shows a spark over here. So it came without the power tubes. Well, it came with the power tubes actually, but one is busted, so mine as well, like replace all four of them. So replacing four of them and then try to check the voltages, like the DC voltages over here after the rectifications for B plus. And then as you can see here, the amp is pretty clean and I quite like it. This is pretty nice amp, and for sure what happens here is pretty similar. It's quite similar to what we had before, the Duo 100 or Duo 12 R100 series amps. The only difference here is, well, actually there are a couple things like different. Like the channel 1 here does have the scoop pull, and then also the focus. Remember we did like the mod with the focus for the R100 before, but this focus is actually push pull, that it gets really nice when it's been pulled. Pull, it says this is gonna get warm, and then as usual you get like the ninja boost for both channels. Pretty solid amps, really like it, very sensitive. Yeah, but the problem, it wasn't working before and we're trying to fix it. We're trying to fix what's going on with the amp. Filter caps over here, they look pretty fine, there's no problem with it. Now I do remember on the R100 there is another 100 nano 250 volts over here that acts like a fuse before the rectification. However, this amplifier in particular don't have it. As you can see here, it does also similar to the mod that I did, like putting the focus, and then behind the focus capacitors over there's a capacitors over here behind the push pull. I think like this should be like 250k, but gives that difference. It's a ceramic capacitor, ceramic disc capacitor added to the focus portion. But without the amplifiers being turned on, we definitely want to see whether there is a number one here is how can we know that the amp has a life, right? So I also want to teach you where to look in particular amplifier, right? How to discharge it, where to tap to discharge. Usually I will look on the red OTB plus, which is that means that after the standby, if from the power transformer over here, when it goes to standby, it goes into the first B plus, right? This first B plus is like usually comes with choke. So if we do have like a choke, it's connected with a choke. In this case, like this is the choke over here. So there's like a connection there. So let's see that if we just do this over here. So as you can see here, the amp is alive. You have like 300 plus 360 volts coming alive, right? This is the place to discharge the amp before we go to like debug the amp, or start poking things around without the, as you know, without the chopstick to keep it safety. So this amp is alive, as you can see here. Now if we do have the safety stick or discharge stick that we all know, here's an example of a discharge stick. I put like a big resistors to it, to discharge, and then the other end goes to the ground. So let's say that we're doing it over here. We're going to the chassis, and then we go to the B plus over here in the back here. Now if you do that, you'll see like the amp, it starts discharging. So if we put over here, as you can see here now, the voltage is coming down. Previously it was like 300 something, but right now it's rapidly going down to close to 0 voltages, right? Close, very close. So make sure that that's the way how you discharge the amp, to make sure like it's safely to be used, safely to be repaired, lifting the boards and so on. But anyway, so that's how you discharge the capacitors to be safely worked on, right? So you can see here like the amp right now has like 0 voltages or close to 0, right? So it's safe. See, you can touch it now. So everything else is safe. Now, I put the newer tubes for this amp. Already checked all the voltages too, that the amps currently is working. So I also want to do, I want to touch base about after you put the new tubes for the Rivera, right? What we can do next is actually bias the tubes. And then this is like the important part of every tube amps, that you need to bias it properly, bias the amp properly. Now, how do you bias it? Luckily in this Rivera, we have a say that minus 37 for the volts for the EL34 for the 100 watts. So where do I get that minus 37? Where do I get that negative bias coming from, right? That negative bias, that the trim pot is here, right? Usually like 50K trimmer, or sometimes as like small as 25K. Now, this connection over here is where you actually measure it, right? And some amplifiers, some of the custom builders, they also put like the pin number 1 and pin number 8, and then they connect that on the back of the amplifiers, right? That's also like a valid place to bias to. It's more convenient because you put it some measurement pin on the back. But in this particular amp, for sure, right? Since we already plugged the power in, we gonna do it. You know, measure the minus 37. That's what we're looking for, because we have like 100 watts for EL34, right? So over here and over here, that's what we're measuring. Now, before we go, I would like to do absolutely using like a deoxit to clean out the pots, and then, you know, make sure the things are here like all cleaned up correctly. So here we go. So that's turning on the amp right now. The amp is alive. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you want to check this. So right now it's going to like 38, minus 38. Now this is like during like the standby, the warm up. So that's minus 38. We know for sure that they're matched. So that's why you get that. Now, how about the B plus? Let's check the B plus. B plus right now it's around 475 coming in. But yeah, the amp is pretty close, minus 38. Now if we turn on the amp, see there, so we get minus 37, 0.4, 0.5, minus 37, minus 37. So this amp is already like been biased pretty good, biased based on the specs of this amp. And definitely we can check right now. So the B plus right now is 450 coming in, and then going to the screen 446 after the drop resistors too. So yeah, they're pretty normal right now for the amp. And we definitely can try to see how it sounds right now. For sure, like it's gonna work. So we're gonna do the first channel. Let's turn the amp a little bit. Really nice. Reverb doesn't work for now. Nice and crisp. Yep. How about the boost? Give a warm. Nice. Love it. Really nice. Now let's change the channel right now. Let's go here. Give like the raw overdrive channel. Nice. Scoop. Yes, it works. So I can tell, like, you know, the amplifier works as intended. Maybe in the future that we might need to replace the filter caps, right? These filter caps in the future. But as you can tell, the amp works as it should. So I think in this video, I hope it's insightful for repairing the Fandango. And then stay tuned for the next videos, and thank you for watching.